Hi, you know how some days you're just like in the pocket and you feel like you can do no wrong? Today's not one of those days, friends. No, it's not. I have pretty much no plan for this video other than to show y'all a bunch of new makeup. And truthfully, if I hadn't told you how I was feeling, you probably wouldn't have known the difference. Because that's kind of how all of my videos are. But I did get a lot of like mixed responses from my speed reviews video because people were like, why is this not an hour long? And a lot of people were like, oh my God, thank God it's not an hour long. So, you know, can't win them all. Certainly not according to the algorithm, but I think today is gonna be a long one. I did take questions on my Instagram. I have so much mostly drugstore stuff today. So that's gonna be probably the unusual part of it. But the main thing, I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it. The main thing I wanna talk about today is this freaking palette. I'm like mad how much I like this palette because I have done so much bad. Rule number one, check your battery before you hit record. Anyway, I've done a lot of bad mouthing of Revolution Beauty over the years because they do a lot of very egregious, shameless duping of other brands' actual branding. I have no idea if this is any exception, but I saw these colors and I was like, this is a palette I would make. You know, it's excessive. It has a gazillion shades and I like all of them. I bought it and it was $18 and I haven't been able to put it down because I truly feel like every dumb basic eye look that I want to do lately, and I mean that in the best way possible, is in this palette and it's $18. And it's made me have some larger thoughts about makeup in general because of course I'm gonna get wistful about it. Of course I'm going to wax poetic about what it means in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, let's take some questions and go ahead and jump in. I haven't really even like tried this look all together because I'm too depressed to do that right now. So you're getting some first impressions. Are you gonna get the Sesame Street Wet n Wild collection? No. I seem to have fallen off of everyone's map. It's like they know. It's like they know that I'm not doing well because I put things on the internet and no one cares. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna go then. Bye. I'm gonna start with this. This was a weird thing. So Johnny Concert, which just sounds like a person, which I don't know if it's just a person, but it's a makeup company also, reached out to me on Instagram, and it was one of the like weirder interactions that I've had, just not because of them, but just because of the way that they offered me free product. Usually it's like, hey, can we send this to you? They were like, hey, we have a code for you to get a free bottle of this product that we just came out with. And, you know, just go put it on in your cart, add this code and you can get it for free, but you know, you still have to pay shipping and everything. And I was like, okay. And I used it as an opportunity also to buy a quad from them that I'm, you know, I don't know if we'll touch in on it today, but this is what it looks like on the inside. And like, it's pretty good, but I don't know what this is. It's called Rituals, which was, I want to say, one of my roommate's bands, but it is the Shape Up Serum. If you see the shade in there, it's like not a shade, you know, it's just kind of like a pearly milky thing. So I'm gonna put it all over my face and hope for the best here. Already have sunscreen and whatnot on, but this just seems like it's like a good skin prep. It has a smell, but not a scent, you know? It smells like equal parts like herbs and Play-Doh. I just really want to give you all the full experience. She's glowing! She's also really high up, but I don't know why. Hi. Someone told me that my hair looks best pulled back. I'm gonna say I disagree, but this is where we are today. I love how people like leave comments telling me like the best way that I should look, as if I'm always looking to optimize my appearance. I'm not looking to optimize my appearance. I am looking to not be bored. Mainly. Like that's what I'm trying to do in life, is just not be bored. I'm trying to, it's like Jenna Marbles. She's always like, I'm just here to make myself laugh. Okay, so I don't really know what foundation I'm gonna use today. I got this Pacifica Kind tint and it is like otherworldly light. I'm gonna swatch it on my face because I'm pretty sure it's like, it's wildly light. So I got the shade, it just says tint 22. Maybe it's 22. I'm doing a really good job today. I feel it pilling that stuff. Well, this is gonna be really good. We're off to an auspicious start. The other thing that I have here, in case that doesn't work, I still have not gotten to try, is the Shake Well, the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation. So let me see if this is a better shade match at least. Oh, it's so yellow. Maybe I mixed them together. What kind of weird day are we having? Whoop. Whoa, whoa. One of these smells crazy. Like, is it the Juvia's? Holy matrimony. Holy matrimony. Yeah, that's a scent, friends. You know what? We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. I have no idea how this is gonna go. I can't wait to see how this turns out. I'm gonna use this brush that Persona sent me. I have no idea if it's good. It's all a little dry. It's all a little dry. I think what I'll do is blend this in, and then I'm gonna go in with just the Pacifica and just mix it with something a little bit deeper but not so yellow, because this is really, really yellow. And that Juvia's is so fragranced. Oh my word. I have 2 responses from my prompt so far, and one of them is, why do you hate watercolor? I am an artist, and I hate watercolor because, first of all, it's wet. And it makes the paper wet. And I have like a visceral bodily rejection of wet paper. It just icks me to no end. I don't like it at all. And so the idea of like wet, soppy paper makes me really just like uncomfortable. It makes me able to like, you know, feel my skeleton. Okay, so this is some of the Beauty Blur. I'm not present in my body. I like need another cup of coffee. This is the Beauty Blur from Vita Liberata, and I mixed it with that Pacifica, which I can confirm does not have a scent. And I'm just gonna dibby dab that in kind of the lighter spots here. I love that Vita Liberata for deepening things that need deepening on my skin. This is cooling. This is nice. The Juvia's kind of ruined everything, but this is nice. Ooh. I also just don't like working with watercolor because it's very like, you messed up, deal with it. I'm not a big fan of consequences. I mean, I don't know about you, but I personally thrive in an environment with no accountability. But yeah, I do. I thrive in an environment with no accountability. I don't want to go into art, like making art, with a sense of a binary of like something being right or wrong, or not being able to go back, not being able to wipe it off. A big part of the art that I make is like wiping it back off. So to completely eliminate the entire possibility of like removal, of subtraction, feels really limiting. And I know that there's something to be said for things feeling limiting, because art sometimes can be really scary. When you look at a blank canvas, you're just like, oh, okay, well, it's full of nothing but possibility, and therefore I am paralyzed by indecision. I don't really have that problem. I just like to kind of massage my art. And I don't think that watercolor really allows you to massage your art. So I hate it. Hate the way that that's looking right now. Just looks absolutely terrible. Like, look at my cheek. It's giving full yikes. So we're gonna go in with some concealer because why not? So I have the Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Concealer. I got this in the shade Ivory, which looks to be, you know, somewhere at least in like the same solar system as my skin tone. And it might help us lighten this a little bit, but it does seem to be fairly like low coverage, hence serum. Although I've had things that are serum-y that were not low coverage at all, so what's in a name, really? Really not sure how I feel about that brush. I'm gonna go with the Angie Hot and Flashy A506 here for this. Yeah, boy, I don't mean to belabor this or beat a dead horse or whatever. Oh, I hate that. That looks terrible. This is so bad. But that Juvia's, I can still smell it. It's so strong and it's so persistent. Okay, so Ivory's is too light, and the serum quality of it is not ideal. It's not ideal. It's doing really strange things. I just feel like I have bad luck and can kind of predict the outcomes of so many things at the drugstore. Like, I like know how a drugstore complexion product is gonna behave. I feel like, you know, the best things at the drugstore tend to be mascaras and stuff. You can find some, you know, decent things in every category, but like, is it just me, or does it feel like drugstore brands like make things hit or miss on purpose? Like they kind of do a certain like calculated proportion of bad formulas, of just like subpar formulas, because they know that like it's gonna increase their sales over time. even if that product is a dud, it's like, okay, well, you know, the likelihood that someone, you know, comes back, it's like a planned obsolescence thing. Like they're just gonna not use that product, but it doesn't mean they're gonna stop buying from your brand. Oh my God, that is so odd looking. I'm so pale underneath my eyes. Okay, I'm gonna fix that with some Kosas because I look like a ghost. I look like a ghost! Yikers. Yikers Island. I'm giving Zoobly Zoo face even though I'm already fully blended here. I don't know, I'm kind of a weird conspiracy theorist about those kinds of things, and it tends to get me maligned on beauty guru chatter. People are like, oh, Khaki thinks that everybody's conspiring against her. It's like, dude, don't be an idiot. Like, it's just as likely as not likely. You know, it was not our imaginations that our phones slowed down the moment that they released the next phone. I'm gonna say that's a lot better. So it's probably because that concealer costs like 5 times what the drugstore one did. Not to say that that's always the case, but it's a lot of times it's the case. So I'm gonna do a little bit of contour here because I don't have a contour to try today. So I'm gonna use my old trusty rusty here from Oh my God, I look like I'm doing drag. What in the diddle, friends? My word. This is why I don't do first impressions. God, wow. Wow, 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 wow. That looks so crazy. Ah! Okay, I have here the other side of that, which is the highlighter, and I've just actually been really into it lately, okay? I mean, I paid $40 for it. I might as well get my money's worth. Put something on top of that nightmare scenario that's happening on my cheekbone. What in the world? We put makeup on to look better, hopefully. And this is just not, I'm not improving anything right now. Ew. But I do feel like we can pull this back on the rails. Maybe. Maybe. I did get this weird bronzer. Pixie by Petra. It's definitely not a brand I frequent, and it's probably because I have been like wronged by them maybe like once or twice. And also back when I was doing clean beauty, everybody had an opinion about Pixie because they were like, there's fragrance on it. And we're just like past that now. But the main reason that I don't go for their stuff that often is because it's really expensive for the drugstore, and it usually is pretty underwhelming. Like I really am like, what is that? This is supposed to be an on the glow bronzer stick, you know, tinted moisture stick. And like, sure, I guess it just doesn't. First of all, I tried using it like, you know, like this. Don't do it. Don't do it. It'll screw everything up. But I'm gonna try and just put it on my big brush here. But it really just kind of looks like a lip balm. You know what I mean? It's so low pigment. It just kind of looks like grease on my skin. I'm not a fan. But maybe it can help balance out this color situation a little. Okay, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. You know? And it's like, who cares if it's less expensive if you're never gonna use it because it doesn't do anything? Sometimes I get mad because things are great. Sometimes I get mad because things are terrible. This I bought because it was very clearly on the website trying to be the Jones Road Miracle Balm, and it is the Revolution, I don't know, it's blush. It's a tin of blush. And it goes with my scarf today, so hopefully I can get it to go with my scarf. But, you know, I've been using this just like a regular blush instead of like breaking the seal, but I guess I could break the seal the way that you're supposed to, you know, with the Miracle Balm. We'll give that a shot. And the one thing that I notice about this immediately is that it doesn't just smell, it smells exactly like Pez. Like, exactly like lemon Pez. And I'm a big fan of Pez, okay? It's making me hungry. Did you know that Pez was originally created as a smoking cessation? Because it kind of comes in like a little dispenser, and you know what I mean? It was supposed to be so, girl, I don't even put them in the dispenser. I just put the whole thing in my mouth. Smoking cessation, my butt. I need Pez cessation. So, if you're into smelling like Pez and low pigment blush, boy, have I got a blush for you at the drugstore. So yeah, this is from Makeup Revolution. Again, they have just kind of copied something, but it's much smaller, much smaller. And it's really, really dewy. like sticky, dewy, but it's a really pretty color. Like I could see myself using it again because it is, I like it better than the Miracle Balm because I don't love the Miracle Balm, so that's kind of like, you know, a pretty like low bar. But the thing that I find about drugstore in general is just that it's very low pigment unless it's super, super dusty. And that's what we're working with today, is a lot of low pigment. All right, I'm gonna powder a little bit before we get in on my eyes because I just feel like this is all so just like intense. I'm gonna use the Amicole that I just got. Even though it's translucent, it doesn't brighten. There is a difference between a translucent and a brightening translucent powder, and this is actually pretty mattifying. And so it'll actually like kind of absorb light a little bit underneath my eyes, like that. Do you see? And it's not quite so like crazy glowing, bright, reflecting light. It's not an occasion where I want to go for like the Kosas, because the Kosas is going to continue to like brighten that area. I used to think that genuinely like all setting powders were created equal, and they just aren't. And once again, Amicole, you know, it's not something that I'm gonna reach for every single day because I don't always want a ton of like mattification, but you know, once again, for what it is, they've done a really great job. I like the component too. It's got like a full lift off cap like that, contains the mess, and then you can work off the inner lid right there with your brush. One of my more favorite components, she says, as her Givenchy powder is just sitting over there on the floor, still stuck. Okay, this is what we're here for. So Revolution has a bunch of these. It's like hard to really like find the right one, but this is the Maxi Reloaded palette. And again, it's like $18 for 45 colors. $18 for 45 shades. And I am going to apply this, and I'm going to wax poetic about my thoughts on eyeshadow and how much we pay for it. Can you predict, this is a question on my phone, can you predict the next TikTok viral product that was actually popular on YouTube years ago? Oh, that's a good one. I mean, right now we are, I think, traveling through liquid lipsticks, because that was for sure a thing. It's funny to say the next because like I don't know what's cool on TikTok right now, so I might be naming things that are already there. Probably really, really, really exaggerated highlighters, and maybe like, I'm probably out of order here, but like maybe like really strong lip plumpers. Although those are the kinds of things that people tend to make those faces about, so I don't know if they ever really go out of style, you know, people going all the time. Look at these colors. Look at them. Look at how like subtle these colors are. They're so nuanced and beautiful. I like them. And again, I've been just like all about things being basic and subdued and pretty lately. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not even gonna tell y'all what shades I'm using. I'm using a light kind of mauvey taupe. It's like play. That's what this whole palette feels like. It just feels like I can play. I really like that it's got like a good bedroom eyes color in it. And then it's got all these really in-betweeny kind of shades. Just great. Great, great, great. Like, look at these. These are what belong on my eyes. And then, you know, there's a couple of kind of like deeper, more exciting ones. And they do kind of, like this goes all the way to like a black shift. It's got like blue glitter in it. Very reminiscent of like a MAC shade that I used to have. And I just like how they blend. Especially for what I would expect, which is like a, you know, a nice blendable matte and a nice creamy satin. So I think that the thing I really, it's not even that large of a point, but it's like the thing I wanted to call out was just my cynicism around luxury, like uber luxury eyeshadows, because I feel like instead of it being a spectrum of like luxury versus price, I'm sure someone else has pointed this out before, but it's actually a circle. So it's like at the bottom of the circle is like indie shadows, soft, gorgeous, extraordinarily textural. And then at the top is drugstore and uber luxury. And so it's like you go from drugstore quality of eyeshadows and you go up in price, you get through like your Urban Decays, and then you get to like your Pat McGraths, and then you get to, you know, the really, really stellar, incredible, you know, art supplies of like the indie beauty world. And then as the prices continue to kind of go up, you have it kind of like start to diminish again. You know, you start to see, oh, Natasha Denona, right? Then it kind of comes up to, you know, like Gucci, and then like Chanel and Guerlain, and Tom Ford, and they just are like, honestly, if I were blindfolded, I'm not sure I'd be able to tell like a Tom Ford or Chanel medium charcoal matte kind of shadow apart from a Revolution Beauty one. And that is why I'm declaring today, I'm done buying ridiculously expensive eyeshadow. That kind of thing, like Chanel quads and Tom Ford quads and stuff. Like, I don't know that y'all ever thought I was going to buy another Tom Ford quad, but especially after trying this palette where you get 45 shades for $18, and I understand, and I always actually, you know, talk about how it's about, you know, buying into the magic overall, not just about the quality of the actual formula, but like the quality of the formula should be there and the magic should be there. And for eyeshadows specifically, the magic is not there for me in those types of products. Like, I have an easier time working with this and an easier time just, you know, falling asleep at night knowing that this didn't cost me very much. And that's just not the case with everything, you know? And I know that there are a lot of people who have kind of their unpopular opinion that's like, there's no point in paying luxury price for a mascara. And you're probably right. You're probably right. I just happen to be a tubing mascara junkie, and I just have my favorites, and I just haven't found a really, really great one at the drugstore, but at the same time, I love interacting with the Thrive packaging, you know, because it's all metal and it's really nice and heavy and it lasts such a long time, and it comes in brown. And you know, we all have our things. Like I was talking about in another video, like I'm just not that way about interacting with like my skincare packaging, for example. Like I'm just not that worried about whether the skincare packaging is giving me some kind of luxury experience. Like if it does, oh cool, you know what I mean? But if it doesn't, I'm not heartbroken about it. I just kind of want it to work, as long as it doesn't break, you know? But I mean, look at those, look at that. It's so easy. I just find myself kind of like mindlessly using these, and they always do something really nice. So that's a really stark white, but they also have like a nice, like soft, warm beigey white. And they're kind of like the rock palettes in the sense that like there's just dozens of them, you know? And I always say that someone like ColourPop, the amount of releases that they have, it's like they don't value their own product very much, but I think that there's kind of something to be said for that, in kind of the modesty of, at least of Revolution, being like, look, we make a formula that translates across all these different colors. We're not going to pretend that this color story is precious. We want you to be able to get what it is that you want. And I don't think that they necessarily treat them like ColourPop does, as like new releases all the time, expecting you to kind of like keep getting it up for a new release for ColourPop. They're like, hey, if these aren't your neutrals, maybe these are your neutrals, you know? And then they're just like, if those aren't your neutrals, here's some other neutrals. And hey, maybe if you don't like this big palette, we have this other one that's like half the size and another one that's like the quarter of the size. And they're all like very practically priced. So I guess I'm getting really cynical about like spending my money. I don't mind spending my money on things that, like, even if I don't end up using them that much, at least, you know, they impress me and I can give like a good review on them or whatever. But like, I'm really glad that I was able to give my Tom Ford quads away to Simbri and Hannah, because they were just going to languish in my drawers. Taking a little bit of a very, very bright kind of glittery shade here, putting that there, brighten up my inner corner, and like, you know, they're all like, oh, you can use them wet to dry. You can use anything wet to dry. So yeah, that's been my like eyeshadow vibe lately. And it just honestly makes me want to kind of, I never feel like this, but it makes me kind of want to like throw out a bunch of stuff. I'm going to use my Hindish color fluid on my eyeliner, and then I'll do some mascara. I don't have any new brows or anything, so I'm just gonna zoom through those. Well, I was gonna use my color fluid. I don't know what I diddling did with it. Maybe not. sent these over around Valentine's Day, and they were like Valentine's themed as far as the release was concerned. And these are their All Smiles like lip oil things. That's exactly what they're called. Steel Trap. I was gonna swatch them, but I'm not really sure that there's much point because they're really translucent. One of the main things that I have encountered with this is just that like not very much comes out on the wand, and so I'm not really sure if I like the formula because I'm not sure I'm getting very much of it, or if that's like the thinness of the formula itself. Like, do you see there's not really much on the wand, and I'm just like, you know, just trying to get it on there. The red one is called Optimist. The clear one with sparkles is called Dreamer. The pink one is called Lover, and then the brown one is called Seeker. And, you know, there's nothing particularly nuanced here, so I kind of just want to wear the sparkly one. Told you, I'm so boring lately. I mean, you can't even see that. Oh, look, I think it's got a little bit of like a pH thing to it. Do you see my lip turning pink? Let's try the brown one. Yeah, my lip is turning that very telltale shade of pink. Interesante. It's like really hard to get any of it. Ah! There you go. I'm not sure it goes with the look. Maybe it does. Maybe once it all turns bright freaking pink. It's so thin. It feels like a lip gloss that's also like a stain. I think I like it. It's just unusual. And I also feel like every color is probably going to do something similar to this, although I like it. I'm really not sure. I'm not sure if it has like a ton of pH adjuster in it or if my eyes are fooling me or what, but it definitely does something and it looks nice. Let's do a little clear brow gel. I don't know how I feel about my cheeks right now. Everything looks really like particulated and gross. I can't believe how like low energy I am today. It's almost like I need to take a Dayquil just to exist, but I'm not gonna do that. I mean, it's not bad, right? And I think that that's kind of the takeaway from the drugstore pretty much every time. It's like, you know, 5% of it will be remarkable, and then the rest of it is either bad or not that bad. Like, you can get a makeup face. You can get a makeup face. You can get a face of makeup together from it. But like, there's a reason that like Amanda does so much due diligence to find like hidden gems at the drugstore, because they're hidden. Those gems is hidden. So let's recap a little bit here. I really feel like this is just another skin tint. It's probably lovely, but like I got it in such a light shade that I don't really know, you know? And so when I mixed it together with something that was deepening it, I really enjoyed it. But Pacifica doesn't tend to be incredibly inexpensive, and you can probably do better than this. I think that like the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Foundation and the True Match Nude are like my favorite ones at the drugstore as far as skin tints are concerned. And like this one's probably fine, but you know, you can get them less expensive that perform better. And don't make, you know, something pill up like crazy. Like I think that this is just water-based. It's just a serum, so like it shouldn't have pilled up like that. And I also think that like this serum, I mean, this is an expensive serum. I would wear it by itself. It's really, really pretty. And it feels really fantastic on the skin. It doesn't feel silicone-y or anything. So the fact that it started like pilling up with the Pacifica, just, I don't know. This feels like water on my skin. There's nothing about this that feels finicky or like it's transforming or anything. It's just really like pleasant. So yeah, I want to blame it on the Pacifica, because as soon as I started, like I swatched it, started rubbing it in, I started to feel it like pill up. So yeah, it just definitely gives me red flag vibes. I don't have like enough thoughts on the Juvia's Place stuff, although like it's the scent. The scent is just so insane. And I got the wrong color, so. Oddly enough, this concealer, I don't hate it. I really think that it was a whole stack of things, right? It was the fact that this is too light for me, and the fact that it was on top of some other stuff that like wasn't working. But I keep the Charlotte Tilbury around, the brightening concealer, the, what's it called? The Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. I keep this one around because it's so light, because it's nice sometimes to be able to like make sure something blends really nicely on my jawline so I don't have like a line or something. So I'm gonna keep it around because it's like really, you know, medium coverage. It's like hydrating and I wanna give it another shake, but It was wildly, wildly, wildly light. This is like such a hard pass. I mean, I get it. I get that it's popular now to have these products that are so low pigment and mainly texture, but this is not the delivery system for it, okay? Like, this is the delivery system for it. I want to be able to like ruin the product and it stay contained. This implies that I'm going to put it directly on my face, and it doesn't work like that. It doesn't do it because it's not slippy enough. It just doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it grips your skin and it'll pick up your makeup, and it's so shimmery. I just kind of don't know who it's for, you know? Like, it's not a highlighter. It doesn't have enough pigment to be a bronzer. The delivery system doesn't work for the formula. I don't know what it's for. It just feels like a dud. I do like this, the Revolution. Like, I could see wearing this during the summertime as just like a really lightweight, pretty. I love how like watermelon it is. It's just such a watermelon kind of color. It lifts my spirits. I could feel myself take a deeper breath. And I personally love the Pez smell, but I think that that's the value of a review before you buy something, right? Is that like, if you were thinking about this and you don't want your cheeks to smell like Pez, pass. If you come away from this video with anything, it is that these are delightfully, remarkably practical. It's just a darn good palette, okay? Look at these colors. They belong on my skin. That's all. That's all I have to say about that. It's $18. And I think that when I bought this, it was like buy two, get one free or something. Like, they were running some kind of amazing special. I mean, it's got your warms, it's got your cools, it's got enough shades in it that you can choose between a cool white and a warm beige, or, you know, different inner corner highlights, or different, you know, moods of, do you want your like weird rosy color to lean a little bit more peach, or do you want your weird rosy color to lean a little bit more like pink, or do you want it to like lean a little bit more shimmery or a little less shimmery? Like, I love these kinds of options, and I feel like you kind of can't go wrong. I personally am tired of limiting myself. And for $18, I don't have to anymore. And it does. It makes me want to go throw out a bunch of stuff. I think we've been overthinking eyeshadow palettes for a long time. I'm actually really, like, the longer I wear this lip, the more pleasantly surprised I am by how it looks and how it feels. It's very rare that you end up with something that's this nourishing feeling and also like shiny looking that is, I mean, not there. Like, not there. It is so light, it is so thin. I was like very, very ready to be unimpressed when I was putting it on. I was like, ugh. I love, you know, an Ami Collet lip gloss, like lip oil. I love that this thing is like syrupy gorgeous, you know, and like it leaves this incredible like textural unctuousness on my lips, but the Exa doesn't. And it's really, really lovely. It's really, really comfortable. I felt like I had a lot of control. I like the way it makes my lips look, and it's not everywhere. My hair won't stick to it. I promise you my hair's not gonna stick to it. It is so like low profile, you know? I really like the look that I was able to achieve. Oh, I also really like the Ami Collet powder. I mean, we're just batting 1,000 on Ami Collet at this point. Like, I don't know what they could do to like bother me, because everything that they do just seems so darn thought out and practical, and I enjoy it. Love this. Ami Collet is also, it's priced pretty fairly, I feel like, you know, on Sephora. So it's not like, you know, a wildly out of the range of everything else that we use today. I think that the thing that I have been gravitating back towards is lower contrast on my face altogether. Just wanting to wear things that are in and of themselves just gentler looking and more akin to my skin tone, just like closer to pale skin. And understanding that like when I look at a shade in a pan that looks like it's going to like disappear on my skin, it's probably still gonna show up. And that when it does show up, it still looks really nice, and it like enhances the look of my eyes. And I think that that's kind of why I would lean on something like the Rose Quartz palette from Aether, or, you know, the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette and stuff like that. But I think that, you know, just in the overall look that I've been going for lately, I'm just embracing the paleness and using things that are lower contrast to enhance it, and it just overall gives this like much softer look that's a little bit more everyday, you know? You can still have fun, but like, I want to like tuck into this palette and just like live there for a little while. It's just my comfort zone. I want a blankie, and I want my Swiss Miss, and I want to be in my comfort zone. I always apologize for being like low energy or a sad in my videos, but like most of the time it's cosmic. And that means that like everybody else is feeling it too. Like nobody's coming to my video being like, oh my gosh, Khaki, get over it. What's your problem? One more month, y'all, less than a month. And so soon will be an Aries season. Pisces season is just a slog for me. I just get in my feels so bad. So if you're feeling that way, I understand that you're not alone. And join me on Patreon where we talk about such stupid things as whether or not Amari Guichon is good in bed. Hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. I love y'all. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you made it to the end of the video, kudos to you. Then, and you are not already subscribed, then consider subscribing while you're here. I promise I'm usually more upbeat than this. And the makeup is usually a little more exciting than this, but by God, I'm excited about an $18, 45 pan drugstore palette right now. And that's how it is. And I'll put a video up here that you'll probably enjoy even more than the one that you just watched. And I love y'all so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.